the type of feed that they are using. Mostly we are now using in this country feed that is imported. We don't have indigenous feed, and naturally anything that is imported is definitely several times more expensive than the indigenous ones. And a few indigenous feeds which are available are again not up to the real satisfaction of the aquaculturists, because they don't obtain the same results as they get from the imported feeds. So a lot of work has been going on. Next slide, please. And several people, particularly I would like to refer to the report of Murray and Mitzi, where this is again an academic report which has not been exploited, where they have tried 55 species of Nasta, 16 species of Calatrix, and so on and so forth. So many genera and so many species on a sort of a 10% body weight basis for feeding with these fishes, and they say that they obtained excellent results. But it has stopped with publications, and they have not gone further. And they even state that some of these heterocystus forms like Nasta, Calatrix, Anabina, Cytonema, and so on, they seem to be much better in terms of their feed value compared to the non-heterocystus ones. Next. Well, we have done some work on this feed, and we have developed an aqua feed from out of a non-heterocystus filamentous marine cyanobacterium called the Formedium valerianum BDU 30501, which is very good. We have tested it on a laboratory level on a slightly larger scale, and now we are going to test it on a very large scale. And this feed is very inexpensive, but at the same time as good as the imported feed in case of its results. A part of this will be also shown as a poster in one of our presentations, where we have tried it not only with the prawns and fishes, but even with the tadpoles of frogs. Next. Well, Dr. Venkataraman was talking about beta-carotene and its controversy and so on, but beta-carotene is also useful as a colorant in addition to its value as an antioxidant or cancer and so on. In addition to Dunaliella, because you know Dunaliella cultivation is not that easy, and particularly in our country, and there are several alternatives, particularly this Premiel diplosiphon, which is reported by Weston Jeffrey. They seem to be a very good one. This again, because it's spirulina, I am not interested, and you get the proof from several marine microalgae. Next. Well, mass cultivation of a variety of cyanobacteria have been tried all over the world, and spirulina is, of course, even Fausto showed you so many beautiful slides. But in addition to that, people in different countries have used mass cultivation of Anabina, Oscillatoria, even Tripodesmium. This is really surprising, and Gomphosphaeria. But in our facility, we have developed a mass cultivation system for Formedium, which you will be able to see tomorrow evening when you visit the facility after the sessions. Next. Right. I will touch upon a few aspects on fine chemicals. Next slide, please. A variety of fine chemicals can be obtained. There are a lot of scope, a lot of literature available, but no commercial enterprise so far. The type of things that we can look for, both intracellularly as well as extracellularly, are the vitamins, the phycofluors in the natural colorants, the fatty acids, etc., and also extracellular products. Quite a number of them can be obtained in sufficient quantities. If only we could carry out some concerted research, we will be able to come out with very good products at a much cheaper cost than the other methods of production. Next. We have, this I am reporting from literature, where in a number of shores, in places like Mexico and near Abu Dhabi and so on, they have done a sort of a large-scale screening over the coast, and they have taken about 20 centimeters depth of water, where most of the microbial mat was made up of cyanobacteria, and they say that these are rich in a variety of hydrocarbons, isoprenoids, steroids, hapnoids, and so on. So I'm just indicating this. This is not our work. This is the work of Cordu et al., Varte et al. You can get it from literature, and some of these can be exploited further. Next. Similarly, there are also reports on a variety of other compounds, phylogenated compounds, siderophores, amino acids. Lots of literature is available on the production of amino acids from cyanobacteria. and all these have not been exploited. Next. And they have screened a large number of these microbial mats, which is essentially cyanobacterial in nature, and found a variety of lipids which could serve different purposes have been found in such fairly very high quantities. You can see phospholipids 2 to 4%, which is sufficiently good, and glycolipids 16 to 50%, neutrolipids up to 68%. This could be a source of oil even. And more than this, what I have not shown here is the report of Gustafsson et al., where with the 6 marine cyanobacterial strains, they found an excellent anti-HIV activity. And also they have tested it with some leucoblastoids and found very good activity against some P24 viral proteins and so on. All that turned out to be sulfolipids. Next. And similarly, fatty acids, and I think already Dr. Venkatraman has talked about it. Next. Well, we have been doing some work in our facility by screening a large number of organisms, and we are trying to develop certain viable technologies. One in which we have made probably halfway through is the production of the enzyme beta-lactamase from the same organism, Forminium valerianum BDU 30501. It has got an excellent property. It's a non-heterocystous, non-nitrogen fixing form, but it can use any beta-lactam antibiotic, particularly ampicillin, to the concentration of 2000 micrograms per ml, and it produces enormous amounts of this enzyme extracellularly, but still, for a commercial production, without depending on the extracellular product, if we can grind the organism, we are able to get much more yield than purely from an extracellular source. So we have characterized the enzyme. We are now trying to find out ways and means of producing it on a large scale, since we have already found out a way of mass cultivating this organism around the year with fairly good yields. You will find a poster presentation later on by one of my colleagues on the methods of mass cultivation of this, and we are looking at the commercial feasibility of producing this enzyme, which has got a variety of applications, which I don't want to go into the details. Now, another very, very interesting result that we got very recently is the production of lipase and the protease. This work was done by one of my colleagues from a college in Madurai, who came on a fellowship and worked for a couple of months. When he screened a large number of organisms, he could find at least 2 strains, Oscillatoria formosa BDU 40261 and Forminium corium BDU 30241, which was able to completely digest the olive oil which he used as a lipid source, and especially when you give it a very low light condition, almost trying to turn it into a heterotrophic organism, then you find extracellular production of this lipase. Of course, this has just been found, and we are yet to really go into the processes of looking into the possibility of producing this enzyme from these strains. This is a very interesting thing. And similarly, another student of mine who is in an MSc class took up a project work. He screened a very large number of strains, and then he took especially the non-nitrogen fixing strains and then started growing them in a nitrogen-free medium without giving any nitrogen source, but gave some proteins instead, like casein and a variety of other types of proteins, to see whether the organism is capable of digesting it and taking it as a nitrogen source. Then to our surprise, we found he got a couple of strains which were capable of doing that. In an N- or nitrogen-starved condition, there is absolutely no growth, but when you supplement it with some protein source like casein, unfortunately we have a couple of slides on this, I forgot to put it in because of the work, where he found that there is an excellent production of protease extracellularly, and this strain produced the maximum amount of protease. It digested the protein, used the amino acid as a source of nitrogen. So we are not looking at it from an academic angle, though academically also this is very interesting to find cyanobacteria behaving like bacteria and trying to obtain a nitrogen source from a protein and a carbon source from a lipid and so on. But apart from the academic angle, we find an industrial potential in these findings of ours. Next. Then of course, there's a lot of reports and literature on vitamins, and also these phycofluors, the fluorescents like phycoflamin, phycoerythrin. This is what has been reported in literature. Next. We have ourselves done work on this, And we have screened a large number of strains, and ultimately I used to call this a miracle strain. I used to tell my students, because this strain is useful to us as a feed, this strain is useful to us for the production of beta-lactamase, and this strain is useful to us because it has a very high degree or very high content of phycocyanin, 20% by dry weight. By any standards, this is a very good percentage. Not only that, the product, I think my colleague is going to give you on a poster, you can even see the product, you keep it there. It is of an exceptionally high purity, and he has also taken some spectral studies, and he finds that almost 100% spectral purity of the pigment that is obtained out of it. He has really developed a technology for a commercial production of this pigment, but we are waiting to patent this. Dr. Venkatraman said that they have already patented one from Spirulina. I can tell Dr. Venkatraman that this technology that we are going to patent is very much more inexpensive and gives a product which is infinitely superior to many of the products available in the market. Then phycoerythrin is also possible, but we find that the strain that we could get, which was amenable to sort of mass cultivation, because there are strains with very high phycoerythrin content. The problem is to make them grow on a large scale. And we found a strain that could be grown, but its content is very low. And another important point I want to mention here is, when we are looking for such phycoflores and so on, we have to look for strains where there is a sort of exclusion of pigments. If you have a strain that could simply release only phycocyanin, that is the best for phycocyanin production. Similarly, if you can get without much of phycocyanin content and a majority erythrin, then it is good for erythrin production. So when we are screening like this, we came across this strain, but we are yet to really develop a technology for this, because we find certain inherent problems in the production of this pigment. It's drying and shelf life and so on, so many other things, whereas here we are really standardized. Here we are really not making a big headway. We hope to do. Next. And we have used this phycocyanin that we have produced for producing the cakes, the drinks, and then jellies and sort of tablets, everything made out of this phycocyanin that is produced from this organism. Next. Then lots of literature is available on pharmaceutical potential of marine cyanobacteria. Next. You can get a variety of these compounds like acetogenins, amides, alkaloids, bromophenols, cyclic oligosaccharides, so on and so forth. But we don't find a single product in the market made out of these cyanobacteria. So I'm sure that at least in the near future, we'll be able to make products out of them. Next. For hepatitis B, as you all are aware, hepatitis virus is of different types, of which the most dangerous is hepatitis B, because it can easily be carried. You can carry the virus without really having the symptoms outside, and therefore it is very difficult to cure this infection. We found excellent activity from some of these strains. Next. And we have also in our screening, in our collaborative work, identified a strain. It's of course a different strain of Formidia valeriana. It is 41001. By using the technique of reverse transcriptase inhibition, we have found that it has got an anti-HIV property. We are now in the process of purifying and taking out different fractions and trying to test which is the active compound in this. Next. Then there is another strain of Formidia valerianum, that is BDU 20571, where we have found not only anti-hepatitis B activity, but it also has activity against some pathogens, human pathogens such as Klebsiella and Staphylococcus at reasonably good concentrations, low concentrations, and even as a crude extract. Next. Well, again, we have screened a large number of strains and a large number of bacteria, both for intracellular and extracellular products. We have some very interesting results. As I told you, these are all screening results, but it really doesn't mean much unless we go into it and then try to get a product out of this. Next. Then similarly in literature, particularly you find in this Gervix group, a lot of reports, a lot of people working here in the US, you will find a lot of reports on this, but nothing has been commercialized. Next. And we are now in the process of purifying from one of these 7 strains an anti-cyanide compound. We have almost reached, I should say, 90% purity of the compound. I don't want to, because we are not at fully chemically characterized it, and we are trying to do some animal experiments. We have planned, and the work has been started in collaboration with again Tharamani, and we want to see its toxicity on human beings. But before that, even if it is not going to be very useful as a drug, we need a lot of novel antifungal compounds, because we have a lot of novel antibacterial substances coming day in and day out. But antifungal compounds are very few and restricted, so we are looking for a novel one, and we are hopeful, or rather optimistic, that we have got something. Next. Well, there are about 1,500 microorganisms were screened, of which 900 were cyanobacteria, and they have reported a lot of anti-neoplastic activity. These are all marine cyanobacteria from which we have reports in literature on their anti-cancer activity. Yes, this is an experiment that we have done in collaboration with Tharamani. This is a Vero cell line which is infected with the HSV virus. This is the infected cell line. This is the control cell line. And then when we treated it with cyanobacterial extract, next, a particular strain. See, this is the infected one. This is the cyanobacterial treated one. If you remember the earlier control slide, it is almost equivalent to the control, and this has got an excellent property of curing the HSV infection from the human cell line. Well, there are several other reports on the cancer inhibiting property, particularly for the Jervis group. Next. Just 1 or 2 minutes. On the polysaccharide applications are plenty. Dr. Kaushik at New Delhi is also interested in this. Next. Okay, we'll stop with this. This is the bioflocculant activity. We can use the extracellular polysaccharide for a variety of purposes. Thank you.
Oh, there's one person. Go ahead, second, please. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got the microphone already.
My question is reference to using cyanobacteria as an aqua feed, because we are from the aquaculture shrimp farming. It's quite interesting that cyanobacteria could be used as a shrimp feed. We would like to know, what sort of other further studies which you have done in terms of assimilation, or any special properties like immunostimulant activity and so on.
Well, we have not really gone into such details. What we have at best done is that we have tested it with a variety of, say, fishes and prawns and tadpoles and so on. We have not found any sort of even slightest toxic symptoms. On the contrary, compared to some control feeds that we have used, we found an enormous increase in growth and productivity. Actually, we need some animal scientists to collaborate to find out what sort of thing, and I right now have an animal scientist with me. Probably we can look into that. We are not gone into the details.
Maybe as a pluralist step, you mean to say this increase in growth rate is due to the high protein levels?
I don't want to commit like that. It's not simply the high protein level, but it contains a variety of other growth promoting substances. As a matter of fact, the extracts of this organism has been tested in animal systems by injections, and then tested for hepato and other type of toxicities over a long range. We have not found toxicity. But why it is really stimulated, it's good compared to the control feed. I don't want to attribute it purely to protein, but protein is one very important factor. We have 40 to 60% protein content, which is more than enough for aquaculture purposes. Too much of protein sometimes can be really harmful in aquaculture.
Thank you, sir.
Second question was over there. No, not behind you. I'm sorry.
Have you tried to grow your glycosamine cells under green light in order to see if you can increase the production of microorganisms?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I suggested this, but since we thought it would be simply an academic exercise and maybe on a large scale, it may not be really feasible, we have not done it. Although I asked my colleagues to put some filters, color filters, and see whether we can increase the production of pigment, I thought it would be an academic exercise. So already we are getting a fairly very good percentage, 20% by dry weight of phycocyanin. So we didn't really go into that.
Take the microphone, please.
Anti-AIDS activity of formation stress. Whether you think that this activity is connected with high content of phycocyanin?
No, actually, see the extract that we have tested Again, since already there is a reported literature that sulfolipids have such properties, we wanted to eliminate lipids. We don't want lipids because they may not be very good as drugs in future. It will be simply an academic report. Then again, it was not such a crude extract as to contain all the pigments. It was a partially purified extract where you don't have your phytocyanin, you don't have the lipids or other organic solvent soluble substances. It is something else. We are yet to purify the compound. We are interested in small molecules which can be stable, both thermostable as well as it can be stable in these animal systems, which could do the job. So we want to really have a product out of this, in which case it has to be like this.
There's another question.
As Eka feed, this what dosage level you have tested and what stage of the branch it takes up the feed?
I think I'll include it in the poster. Otherwise, are you going to put it up in the poster? Yeah, it will be on the poster.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's one more question. Yeah, over there, please. Will you please take the microphone?
Your culture is highly pigmented. When it's given in feed, does the membrane take it into the lipid?
No, that's an excellent question, but I don't know. I don't know what takes up the pigment.
Yes,
I find in the fecal matter most of this chlorophyll and other things come, but I don't know about the other pigments.
Regarding the proteases, are you classified as neutral, alkaline, different, or they are just?
No, I told you it's a very preliminary report that this we got only very recently when one of my MSc students took up this project. I was so elated to even find this result, and the boy is not free to continue the work. It will be done in a couple of months from now. It has not really been. We only have very good evidence that there is an extracellular protease. Even in protein, I think they have done some electrophotogram, and also we have slides where we can show you that without the protein, the organism dies. With the protein, it has an excellent growth. So it's just a preliminary report. It's just done a couple of months ago.
Of the phycobilin protein, especially the phycocyanin as a colorant, how will you tackle this problem of light sensitivity?
Right. This pigment, we are not suggesting for any coloring of clothes, dyeing or any such purpose. It is, we have got the dye product you'll be able to see during the poster session. If you keep it in a room condition like this, nothing happens. You can keep it indefinitely. The color is it's not photo-oxidized. It is very stable. So we are suggesting this only as a food and other cosmetic colorant, and also in a slightly purer form as a fluorescent, that is as a phycofluor. So it is not meant like a paint or something else where it is exposed to direct sun. It cannot stand. Yes.
Okay, this was the last question. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to join me with a warm applause for Dr. Subramanian for taking care of us so nicely.
We come to the end of this session, and I thank all the speakers. We are sorry probably we sometimes not been able to give more time, but the constraint was from the time that for which we are totally apologetic. But thank you for joining and having an audience. Thank you.
Before the chair, I want to thank the chairperson and the co-chairperson, Dr. Prasanna Mohanty and Dr. Krishna, for chairing this session and conducting it really a nice way so that our tea is not delayed, our media program is not delayed, and our poster session is not delayed. As a token of our love and respect, we would like to present a memento to Prasanna Mohanty by my student Mr. Ganesan. And then Dr. Krishna by Mr. Sunil. Thank you. So now we are
and we provided money for 5 years for very interesting projects. Like that was a biophoton project. Biophoton, yeah. It means that the Hamamoto company. Providing very good activity. Perhaps
Increase the expression. For example, highlight conditions, for example, period and optimal temperature conditions. For example, we have different project from normal 125 to and here the normal presentation will be this. Get that's why
because even in plants are big virus, they are not creating microgravity situation. They are simply nullifying gravitational force. They never create a microgravity situation. In fact, you can never create a microgravity situation as long as you experience that one gravity cannot be eliminated.
Well, you might be,
After 12 hours, it actually should be fast going state on the Cyanobacterial. It has the condition time very 10 to 20, very fast. It completes its cycle in 20 hours. So after 12 hours, we ideally harvest like carbohydrates. But this organic process. Whereas at the zero time, when we transfer the culture from high thermal substrate after 12 hours, we just apply the and also only two other carbohydrates
understood. This was not present when the liner was not absence of sodium chloride. The 13 kD protein was prominent under sodium chloride condition was lacking in the cells due to the absence of sodium chloride. Under normal condition, in the absence of sodium chloride, this protein was standardized for this particular
vials. In vials, then we inject.
Then the water, the sun comes, the water go out, and the salt of the water.
I say gene is already there. You can put it on the expression machine. You can get it without doing further.
As if she is asking me something from me. Screening, not creaming. Lady, yes. Not creaming, it's screening. You are screening, not creaming. As you are right. She is going to make a screening.
Check the nitrogen available and after 10 days. I don't need the air again. Actually, the nitrogen is accumulated for 10th day. It adapts.
And then activity is resumed to sand.
Not exactly that.
Carotenoid, this is I think the data was not that. In this case, we find that after 20, but after 30, yeah, it's in different days. Because it has to, otherwise, different concentration, it has to increase. They are the different days, these are the different concentrations. These are the different concentrations taken. Yeah. No, this is the 12th day and yeah, even
the other part of the project that we're doing in that area is
we are at 10%. That shows
because any
yeah, and then
so if you can produce the material somewhere else on a large scale and then ship it smaller to the other places, then again you can be
the basic biology of the organism, like how it behaves under laboratory conditions. So next part what we did is once we ascertained that it is able to grow at this particular level of sodium chloride, we took up this organism, cultivated in mass production, and then did a field experiment and saw that whether the organism is able to take up sodium from the soil. And that part I'll be presenting tomorrow. We did tomorrow I'll do this, we did our field experiment. Yes, this is going to have some positive effect on the soil conditions.
What is your major plan?
Sodium uptake and
that means carbon division and okay, CL ratio, okay. Okay.
Yes. That is why I'm finding like you have added external evaluation.
Yes, I have added.
And they will get needed. Does not require. Not glucose.
In the medium? Science.
The same thing with the new text. You get any?
We don't make it.
Okay. Because it would be. Have you done an oven to see the size? Size of the transfer dimensions
You put sucrose or carbonate or whatever they call in the market, I guess, the cheapest things.
See, I could do that. We are ending that triple
A warm welcome to this cultural evening. We cordially welcome in our midst the eminent scientists who are gathered here and Dr. Muthukarpan, the Vice Chancellor of Bharathidasan University. Kalekavri is proud and privileged to present this cultural extravaganza to the participants of the International Symposium on Cyanobacterial Biotechnology hosted by Bharathidasan University. The contributions of scientists paved the way for historical progress in the service of humanity as a whole. It is a great opportunity for us to present this program in the cultural city of Tiruchirappalli, especially to the eminent scientists from various countries and from different parts of India. We dedicate this program to the cause of the efforts of the scientists. Kalekavri College of Fine Arts being akin to the Bharathidasan University, we feel it is our joyful duty to present this program on behalf of our university and to make this evening memorable for you. We once again welcome you to enjoy this display of Indian cultural arts communicating human values.
Bharatanatyam. This dance highlights God as the father of all human beings, irrespective of gender, race, creed, or color. Though we have created inequality, injustice, oppression, and marginalization in our society today, He beckons everyone to become partners with Him in transforming our society to create a fraternal and just society. The dance...
மனையிருள் நீக்கும் பொது ஒளியே தாழ் பணிந்தோ எமதிரைவா சத்தியம் உரைக்க ஆணென்றும் பெண்ணென்றும் வேதமின்றி எம்மை அன்பினால் ஆழ்பவன் நீ அல்லவோ மாந்தரும் சோதர உணர்வுடனே என்றும் வாழ்ந்திட விழைபவன் நீ அல்லவோ